Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I am just updating the YouTube page right now. Good afternoon. I hope everybody is doing rather well. I hope you can all hear me okay, first and foremost. I do have my chat up, I believe. Where's the chat gone? Right, let me just go into it. There we go. I do have the chat up. So good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Oh, hang on. I did have the chat up. Do bear with. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to do a weekend hangout, just a little bit for maybe about an hour. Good afternoon, the Rivets. Good afternoon, Leanne. How are you, my darling? I hope you are doing fantastically well this weekend. It's bloody cold, isn't it? How are you finding it where you are? How is the weather where you are? It is so blinking cold up here. We've had a unexpected house guest this past couple of days because it's been so blooming cold. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Where is the chat on my screen? Bear with. As always, I have to do all of this when we're live because I can't pre-do it because unfortunately it doesn't work that way. So there we go. No, I want the chat bit, please. Come on, little magic box. There we go. Fantastic. There we go. Everything's working. Great. Yes, good afternoon, the Rivets. Good afternoon, Leanne. Good afternoon, Dormouse. Hi, Lisa, and everyone who joins, and never forgetting Jane. Much love all. Yes, I did get a message from Jane. She will be watching. Good evening. No, good afternoon to Jane the Empress. As always, Jane, we genuflect in your general direction, oh wise one. Leslie Turrell, good afternoon to you. Happy Sunday to you, my darling. Karen CCS 67, because apparently that's really funny what the kids say. Can I just ask? Can I ask? Does anybody know what 67 actually means? Because I've Googled it lots and it just seems to mean 67, and then they go, "Oh, that's so funny," and then you go, "Oh, I'm doing this 67." It's not. Is it? Am I just too old? Is it like Skibbity Toilet? It actually doesn't mean anything. But yeah, let me know. Freezing here in Bedfordshire. Yes. Dormouse, funny you should say this. It's not the cats from next door, but it is the little baby. Let me see if I can send myself a photo on the phone while I'm doing this. Hang on a second. Let me just see. So, let's get the cutest photos. Cutest pet pictures. I know, right? There we go. I'll send these to myself and then I can pull these up. It's your year of birth, Karen. Okie dokie. Good afternoon, Byron. Hi, Lisa and all. Happy to have you. Keep me company this afternoon while I crack on with some jobs. Yes, good. Do some jobs. That's good things. Yes, I am also doing jobs. No, I also haven't been playing with Legos today. No. It's cold here by the Thames, says the Rivet. You haven't chilled your... What? You haven't just chilled your bag and badge. You're sitting here crocheting while I sit here. Oh, okay. 6'7" is a term about height. Is he 6'6" or 6'7"? It's not. It actually, according to when I did the Urban Dictionary and Google, my hair is really annoying me. It's sticking out and I don't like it. I probably need it cutting. Apparently it just means 6'7" and it's funny. Dormouse is cozy in bed with coffee and hot water bottle, window wide open, as you love fresh air coming in, but bro, it's chilly. Yep, I quite often do that as well. I will have the fan next to me whilst I'm covered up in my super thick winter duvet, so I've got this little bit of me showing just my face, and I've got the fan on just my face because I'm cold, but I need the air. So yeah, that's the thing. Good afternoon, Audrey. Audrey says, afternoon, Lisa and lovely chat. Irene, hope you're both okay. Rufus is currently in visiting down south, so he's currently down south at the moment, so I doubt he'll be with us today. Hello everyone, hope all is okay, says Angela Brown. Good afternoon to you, my darling. Predictive text, you've received your badge and bag. Thank you. I know you said you've chilled it. I was like, okay, that's good then. Right, let me grab the before. Hang on a second. Let me my poor computer is running a little bit slowly. So if I pull the photo up, and then I need to click on this one here. There we go. Look, so this. Oh, actually, if I move this over, no, come on, Lisa, make the thing do the thing. There we go, because I'm sat to one side. If I sit here like this, there you go. This lovely picture of this lovely pussycat here, this is Mr. Felix. He doesn't live with us. He is not our cat, but he has chosen to come and sleep in our house when it's really cold outside, because we feed him and give him a comfy cushion and it's warm. So yes, this is the lovely boy, the lovely baby boy that suddenly appeared in our garden over the summer months. Well, yeah, I would say late summer. Appeared as a baby kitten, suddenly appeared, mewing, screaming for food, and we at the time were helping to feed next door's cats, and so this cute little boy got some food from us as well. There's my lovely husband with said, oh, he's so cute. Yeah, the cat's quite good looking as well, isn't he? No, I mean, you know what I mean. So yes, as you can see, there is the lovely Mr. Felix. He appeared late autumn or late summer, just with the two neighbours' cats that we've been helping to look after, and wolfed down as much food as we were willing to give him, and then would sort of disappear. And then as the weather's got colder, he seems to be living in between our shed and next door's shed. And so we've carried on feeding him. Normally he jumps up on our wheelie bins and we feed him there. But because it's got so bitterly cold at the moment, we were like, right, we've got 3 dogs. There is no way that the doggos and him will ever get along, especially because they're staffies. They just won't. As much as I love cats and Rufus loves cats and we love all animals, staffies are hunting dogs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, their instincts, all it needs is for Felix to put one paw wrong and the dog's instincts will kick in, and it's you know, it's not going to be a good result for anybody. So we've basically, when Rufus is back, we're going to go and take him along to the PDSA and basically have a word to them, make sure that he's all okay. He does still have his bits and bobs, so they'll probably relieve him of those, but we're going to make sure he isn't microchipped, because as I say, he's been around since he was very young. I've got a feeling he was booted out. That is my gut instinct. We've wormed him, we have given him some flea treatment, because he just, you know, hasn't been looked after by anybody, quite clearly. And as I say, he's currently outside. We've made a little outdoor box thing for him and put lovely warm blankies in, so he's currently out there at the moment. But at night time, like for the last few nights, he's been mewing at our front door to come in, and we were like, no, we just can't because of the doggos. We can't. It's like, it's just not. It's not fair to anybody. But then last night, or what day is it today? Friday night, I said to Rufus, we've got even if we just let him in the porch, we can't. It's so blooming cold. So we basically were like, look, we'll pick him up, we'll bring him in. And then last night, I've got a little security camera that I put in the is normally for the garden. So I detached it to wireless. It's a whole thing. I know it's one of the Blink cameras. So I detached that, put it in the kitchen, and just had it on him. And he basically got up on his cushion on that little bed thing there, and sat there and ate some dinner, and then sat there and slept all night. He mewed a couple of times, and I was like, oh, do you need to go out for a toilet? He mewed, and as soon as I went in near him, he went, here's my belly, give me belly rubs. Oh, I love you so much. Purr, 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 purr. Belly rubs, belly rubs, belly rubs. Okay, I'm fine now. He didn't want to go out. I let him out first thing. I slept on the sofa just in case he was mewing, because I thought he's not going to be used to sleeping in, certainly not our house. Hang on, I'm just having a coffee. I thought he's not going to be used to sleeping in our house. And so, yeah, he had the camera on him the whole time. And he just was like, I'm just sleeping. He's such a cute boy, though. But yeah, let's have a look. The screens went blank. Oh, did they? Sorry, Irene. Audrey, he's lovely. He is so adorable. The cat and Rufus, says Angela. Yeah, I know, right? You've had info sent about 3 dogs needing rehoming. Weird first one, also called Piper. Rue's Sunday name, but a tiny dog. Oh, you have a cat that sometimes goes in your garden, goes in the shed, but will not come in the house. He's very timid. We put food out and bedding. That's what we were going to do, is put the little sort of outdoor bed thing, because it's all sealed and everything. Put that in the shed with the big blankies in. The other 2 come as a couple, Yorkshire Terriers, all absolutely beautiful and tugging at your heart to adopt, but you've got to be strong. You've not had a good week, Deb. Came down with a horrible sore throat, cold, lost your voice, throat pain kept you from sleeping. Yes, they blew a blood vessel in your eye, so it's half red. Oh gosh, that sounds awful. Violet, hello everyone. Hello to you, Violet, my darling. Kimberly down south, good morning. Good morning to you, Kimberly. We're such beautiful, caring people. Well, we just don't like people being treated badly. And Rufus always says animals are people. They're just 2-legged people. You very occasionally, Byron, get the odd local cat come into the flat. Craddock loves it. It's like a play date for her. I will say he slept in the kitchen on his bed all night. I let him out first thing this morning, out for a loo. He literally ran around the back, and then as I was like, "Oh, is that you out then?" He ran straight back in. So I was like, "Right, yeah, okay, it is bloody cold." And he sort of came back in and then mewed at me, and I was like, "Are you wanting breakfast?" So we ate a little tin of what was it, chicken in broth, cat chicken in broth. Luckily, we got, last year there was a fundraiser. No, earlier this year there was a fundraiser for somewhere that deals with surplus food and all sorts of bits and pieces, and we donated, and part of the donation was that you would get a pet food crates. So both Rufus and I did it, and we ended up with some of these crates, and basically we had loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of cat and dog food. So the dog food that we don't use, we've donated on and passed on to neighbours and to other places, and the cat food we've again donated a lot of it on. But because we were looking after the cats from next door, we were like, oh well, that makes sense, we'll keep hold of, I've just realised the microphone's so far away, we'll keep hold of some of that because it will come in useful. So luckily there is tons of cat food, and we know which ones he likes. He likes the ones in gravy and broth, and he also really likes salmon. So as Rufus does, Rufus is prone to buying tins of salmon, not for us, but for the dogs and now the cats. So yeah, there was some tinned salmon, so he's had a little bit of that this morning. He's had his chicken in broth this morning, and then as the sun rose, he went to the window in the kitchen. We've got like there's 2 windows, the one down the end. He was looking out of there, mewing at someone, and I was like, is that another cat? And one of the other cats had gone past, and then he was crying to go out. So I opened the thing, he went out and went straight over to the other cat and was basically going, I've been in a house all night, I'm so warm and cozy, and I've got a lovely full tummy, look at me. So yes, so there you go. Anyway, he's not a permanent resident at all. We are going to I'll see if he wants to come in again tonight. As I say, he's currently in his little cubbyhole box thing, his outdoor little bed, with his blanket. I say blanket. Rufus gave up a really lovely fleecy warm dressing gown that, to be fair, I bought him years ago. He has never worn. So he was like, it's really warm, do you think he'd like it as a bed? And I was like, we're not going to use it. Yeah. So that's basically what he has done. So that's what he's currently sort of sleeping in a lovely bed with lovely, 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 lovely fleecy lined thingies. So he's more than happy outside. Just so there you go, look everyone, that is the pussycat. Isn't ours, we haven't adopted him, we are temporarily fostering him, And yeah, also look, I'll give you an update on some Legos. So this is, I don't know how, it's all going to depend on how big your television is, or how big the thing is that you're watching this on. If I put it to, oh look, I'm being lazy. Don't be lazy, Lisa. Or it's only like literally, it's 2 keys you need to press. Come on, do it properly. Right then, there we go. Look, if I do this, there you go. This is, it says there, the Brickhampton Health and Wellbeing Centre. This is it started off as a very small Lego build. Literally, there's a person in front of it in the middle. That was kind of where it ended, and it was 1 floor. And I've extended it and built it and made it into a 2-floor building. And if you can see, there are offices on the top floor, and there's an emergency bay, and that door there slides open. Not that I've been a bit obsessed with Legos, you understand. And I got the sign printed. So this is our lovely health and wellbeing centre which is next door to the community hub where Slimland takes place. There you go. Look, there's our lovely. Oh, gosh, here we go. If I do the photo like this, no, Lisa, this one, no, Lisa. I'm pressing the button. You know, there we go. Look. On camera, on screen, you can now see we've got a person who is a bit bandaged, and a poorly leg and a poorly head and a bruise and a crutch is walking out of there, and someone else is ready to go in. This is, oh, there's also a nurse indoors through those doors, as you can see, or a doctor, and there's somebody waiting at the reception. I know, right? This is what I've been doing. Brickhampton Community Hall, the sign has been made. This is now got a roof. And the sign at the front is a sticker, a bit like the banners that we have for Slimland, and then the roof comes off and that front comes off for filming purposes, because that's a whole thing that we're going to be doing. This is the food hall. I know, I've been so busy. This is the food hall, food fair, with some diner. What have we got? We've got a drinks van in the back, a pizza van, a pizza stall in the back. There's also a hot dog store, fast food store, a flower store, a portaloo. Then we've got a lovely coffee little mini van thing, an ATM machine, a Christmas tree, and a what's that called? A vending machine for drinks, a bin, and then there's some seating where people are eating. You might spot this lovely person here with pink hair, who is Geraldine from the Slimland. She is somebody who definitely shouldn't be tucking into a chocolate bar and giant portion of fries. If you know, you know. What's that? Oh, there's another shot of that. And then this isn't Lego. This is Flego, fake Lego. These are from Germany. This is a discount retailer. It would be Aldi, but of course Aldi is blue and this is red. But you've got a little discount supermarket there, and this is my these are more builds that I've been doing. So we've got the Nightmare on Elm Street house, and another medieval type house that are just sitting in the background. There's a closer view of those. Not that I'm obsessed. That's the other supermarket we've got. That's a organic supermarket. I will actually be combining both of these into one big supermarket thing. I've just built them as they are. This is a dog groomers, because you know it's important, and this is the dog park in front of a Halloween graveyard. So the dog park is a double plate, so it's 64 studs by 32. I know it makes no difference to any of you, does it? But anyway, that's that. So I have been super mega busy doing these lovely things. Oh yeah, and that was the Halloweeny one. So yes, that is what I have been up to while Rufus is away. It keeps me on target. It keeps me on plan. Sorry, it keeps me. It keeps me doing things. It's 8:17 a.m. here. Well, we aim to go on a Sunday. We'll go live at 3 p.m. UK time. There's a long story about your daughter's cats, which she now has 4. Last 3 turned up as a single stray. No owner found in middle of winter. Very soon, 1 stray turned into mum and 2 babies. Oh, bless. You had a horrible week. 3 visits to a clinic and 2 trips to the emergency room, Melinda. Oh my gosh. I hope you're okay. Wow. I hope you... Oh, hang on. Oh, hopefully I muted that in time. I don't know where that sneeze came from. Byron, you're obsessed with Slimland. Likewise. This is separate to, you know, all of the Slimlanders figures that we have here. You know what I mean? To all of the YouTubers, that is a completely... It's gone bonkers. So Brickhampton is the name of the little Lego town. It's not a city, it's a little Lego town. And Slimland is the Slimming World equivalent in Brickhampton. I am enjoying my Lego adventure. As I say, oh yeah, I don't know why you can't see Byron's posts, Code Deb. Have you got live chat here, or are you on top chat? Because you need to be on live chat, not top chat, because sometimes YouTube changes things. So yes, so yeah, the Lego is... Oh, sorry, I keep saying Lego, don't I? It's so annoying. The Lego keeps me on plan. It means that in the evening times when the doggos are asleep, and I could very easily be munching, it basically means that I sit and do something that is relatively inoffensive and relatively, how can I put it? Yeah. Inoffensive, isn't threatening mental health or anything else, is good for... it's good for my mindfulness, takes me away from any of those obtrusive thoughts about, and basically it just gives me a little mini project, besides which following instructions and building especially some of the ones that come in the kits, because you get all of the bits, sometimes in numbered bags, which is where it is easier. You get, you know, step 1 to 7 is in bag 1. 8 to 12 is in bag 2, all of that. The bits I get from Germany and the things I build myself are obviously just in... You get the brick, put them all into a tub, and then just have to find each individual piece for each as you go through. The ones from Germany, the non-Lego ones, and any second-hand sets that have been dismantled are just in a big bag. So when you've got the instructions, it's like, you need this, and you go, a 1x2 plate. Right, a 1x2 plate, a 1x2 plate. Can I find a 1x2 plate? Oh, got it. Do you know what I mean? But it's good, and it's keeping me out of mischief, and it's something I can do even when my fibro is playing up, and when my ADHD is ADHDing, and with everything, it just means I get to stay on track, and it's fun, and I get to take some silly photos and create an imaginary place, and, you know, fill it with a supermarket or two. Not that we need them. You know, there's an ongoing joke in that none of the buildings I've made, in fact, I don't think any of the buildings yet have a toilet, but there is a portaloo in the village, so, you know, it's fine. They're Lego, they're made of plastic, they don't poo, do you know what I mean? It's fun. Good evening to Rachel Beresford, who says, hi everyone. Hi Rachel, my darling, I hope you are doing well. Shy Violet, your hair is blue at the moment, but it was pink. That's very cool. I've had my hair's been every colour over the years. It's been a while. The last time I dyed it pillar box red. And I got told very, very firmly by my hairstylist that if I ever want to have non-red hair, to never do that again, so I haven't dyed it since. Audrey, you received a small Lego catalogue this week. You were chuffed. A small Lego catalogue? What do you mean by that? If you go to lego.com, if anybody wants to buy Lego, seriously, this weekend is Lego Insiders weekend. You can be an insider just by registering online. It's like getting your Asda card or your Tesco club card. You just say, yes, I'll be an insider, have my details, but you get 2 times points, which is about 10% back on anything you spend, so yay. So that's good. But yeah, I find it's one of those things which, as a kid, it was just like, yeah, it's Lego, yeah. Wasn't really interested. And then as I've got my second childhood in my middle-aged years, I'm loving it, because it's just, I can do it. The thing, Vigan, the vegan loser, yes. Byron says, that's exactly why you crochet and craft. You see, I can't do that anymore. I can't crochet and I can't really craft because of the issues I have with my hands. I used to love needle felting, and I can't because doing that action with the needle repeatedly, kind of pushing it in and through the fabric, was really difficult. Really, it hurt my hand so much. So I couldn't do that. And then I was doing a lot of jewelry making earlier in the year and late last year. And again, if my hands are dodgy, pushing some Lego pieces together I can do. Doing fine intricate work with beads and stuff is just difficult. It's just a pain in the bum. Melinda, you broke out in hives. Oh my gosh. All over your body, head to calves. Luckily not to your ankle. Feels like a really bad sunburn with bugs crawling over your body. No idea what's causing it. What could that be? What's the thing? What's the thing that you get that isn't chicken pox that you get when you're an adult? I can't remember what it's called. Computer, what's the thing that adults get that isn't chicken pox?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with
Of course,
that.
sorry, I forget. She won't get it, obviously, because, you know. If you don't know, Alexa doesn't do medical questions. She just says, I can't help you with that. There's a name for it. I can't remember. I'm sure loads of you in the chat are going to be screaming at me in a second. But yeah, you got it, Deb. Shingles, thank you. Thank you, Rivets. Thank you, Karen. Shingles, yes. Codeb says, well done to Byron on the running. Dormouse, your daughter still pootles with Grumpy's Lego. You just cannot follow instructions. I love it for doing the instructions. You got it in the post, Audrey. That's cool. But yeah, Lego Insiders weekend. Until the end of today, they've got 2 times points. So basically you get 10% back on anything you spend on Lego. So it's, if you know someone in your life that likes the Legos, there's also some discounts. There will be discounts coming on Black Friday weekend as well, on this coming Friday, but you won't get the extra bonus points. You'll only get 5% back. So yeah. You're tempted on December 5th to either get a buzz cut or stay just short of it and go sugar almond pink hair. That sounds cool. Carol Barron, can I see you? Well, I can't see you, but I can see your comment, my darling. Codeb says to Melinda, there's something in retrograde. Went to the hairdressers and they were all sniping at each other. Oh, gosh. Dormouse, you've been doing meditative colouring, drawing when hands not too painful. Yep. Hi, Carol. You've connected. Yep, you are here, my darling. Oh gosh, Karen says you had shingles last year and it was awful. Everyone's saying shingles. Thank you. Audrey has a buzz cut every 3 weeks. Sounds expensive. 2 trips to the emergency room. They didn't say it was shingles, but an allergic reaction to something. Oh gosh. Shingles, and you can have the jab next month. You can get a jab for shingles. Wow. So freeing and no faffing with hair. Just be careful. Oh God, am I going to even say this? Yes. Currently, warning everybody, going to be political for 30 seconds. Currently, the government is looking to give the say-so on trans advice to people, that if you don't look female or feminine enough, or masculine enough, you can be questioned as to your gender when going to the toilet. So for all of you out there who may well be female, born female, assigned female at birth, identify as female, you are just women. If you don't look feminine enough, be prepared for everybody to start questioning whether you should be in the ladies' toilet or not, because that is what's coming in. There you go. That's how they're going to solve the whole trans issue. Make everybody reveal their genitalia. Yes. So those of you with buzz cuts, those of you with short hair, those of you who are a bit butcher, those of you with a little bit of facial hair because of PCOS or postmenopause or whatever, that's what's coming in. It's a very scary world we live in. And now back to our regular scheduled slimming world. Yeah, so I have tonight, I've got, what have I got cooking today? I've got, loads of veggies. I've got cabbage, Brussels sprouts and carrots in the steamer. I'm going to have a sweet potato with that as well. It'll be lovely. And I don't know what to have with it. I have got some pork that I've cooked over for the doggos. Some pork fillet thing. But I might end up putting some chicken. Oh, but I'm going to have chicken tomorrow. I don't know what to have. I've got oh, I know. Sorry, my brain just went. Should I have, with the veggies, do you think that would be weird to have with some trout? Not trout. What's it called? Salmon. Do you think that would be weird to have with salmon? Like roast vegetables and then some salmon? Because I looked in our freezer. All of our freezers are basically chicken or fish. Mostly salmon. And as I'm sat here, I'm thinking, well, I was going to cook a chicken tomorrow and do a whole big roast dinner thing for Rufus for tomorrow, because he should be back theoretically tomorrow night. So I'm like, oh, that should be good. That should be good. So if I'm doing a big roast chicken tomorrow, I don't know whether I want fish with roast dinner. It sounds a bit weird, but I don't want roast dinner again today. You know what I mean? Ugh. I think I'm going to have fish. I think I'm going to have salmon with all the veggies in that today, because the reason I'm questioning it is basically because I am trying to cook the same sort of meals as I would do when Rufus is home. Last week I failed at that. No, the week before I failed at that, and I just had like ready meals and tiny little meals, and I put on 4 pounds. So last week and this week I'm trying to have my normal amount of food and just cook whatever size portion, and put the food on my plate and put the rest in the fridge and have the next day. That's what I'm trying to do this week. But I've reached that point now where if I'm going to do a chicken tomorrow for roast dinner, then I don't want to do chicken as well tonight. But I've got veggies that I need to use, because again, with only one of me eating for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, well, technically Saturday, Sunday, because Rufus only went down yesterday morning. Do you know what I mean? It's just... Catherine says, salmon with roasted veg sounds good to you. I think I might put... I know, look at me here. Like, literally, what's it called? Not spitballing. What's it called? The other thing. Crowdsourcing. I am crowdsourcing my menu online. I think I've got some lovely garlic sauce that's... free on plan. I might do some garlic sauce with the salmon. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. And then if I don't have potatoes, if I just have all the veggies and some lovely salmon, and I've got some asparagus still in the fridge that needs using, that Rufus brought back up from down south. So that sounds like a good dinner, actually. That sounds like a good dinner, and something I can pre-cook, because obviously at 6 I've got to do a live stream for the members on the other channel. And then I'll be doing tarot readings till about 9. So yeah, that sounds like a good dinner. Okay, I will have the roast veg and salmon. It just sounds weird. It just sounds weird to me. I know, it's like veggies go with roast meat, not with fish. Odd, isn't it? Odd. Code Deb, just chucking away the rest of the chocolate you bought back from the UK. You never ate it. It's past the sell by date. Non-scale victory. Well done. Although sell by dates are nonsense. I don't know what it's like in the US, but in the UK you've got a use by and a best before. A best before is a guideline. A use by is safety. So if something has a use by on it, chances are you're okay the very next day. But don't go any later than that, because it could be something like milk or meat that can spoil. If it's, like cooked meat, if it's best before, it means it hits its peak freshness on that particular day. Now, best before is different for different shops. Anybody who I know the Empress likes to shop at a variety of places, but she regularly pops into M&S. I think she must have a M&S food near her. Our nearest M&S food is a drive away, a good like into town and out the other side away. But M&S, their best before is normally a day or two earlier than some of the other supermarkets, which is why if you ever go and get say apples or fruit from M&S, you go, oh, this was out of date 3 days ago, and it still looks really, really fresh. That's why it's done to make you the mindset that M&S food is fresher for longer. It's shorter shelf life, but a longer at home life. And that's different to a lot of other supermarkets. Other supermarkets, for cost reasons, will have it on the shelf for longer. And then it's all basically, once you pick something, it starts to degrade, right? We all know that. You've got a window where it's fine, and then it goes moldy or rots or soft or whatever it is. That window is, some of that will be packing and shipping time, some of that will be getting it onto the supermarket shelves, some of that is shelf time, and then some of it is at home in your fridge, cupboard, pantry, shelving, vegetable rack, whatever. And that's why that all of that is factored in. And what you'll have is the premium supermarkets have things on the shelves for a shorter period of time, because it then means it's at home at its peak for a longer period of time. Whereas the other supermarkets, who are slightly more cost driven, will have things, maybe it may only be a day. In some cases, with things like M&S, it tends to be 3 or 4 days or even a week. We had, when we were volunteering a couple of years ago at the surplus food place, we had potatoes come in that were huge jacket potatoes. There was nothing wrong with them. If it had been, and they'd come from M&S. If they'd come from Asda, we never would have got them. They would still be on the shop's floor for at least another week. They were ridiculously fresh, like absolutely peak quality. They hadn't even hit their peak yet. They were just straight off. If you'd walked into any supermarket and picked up this crate and given it to us, that's what it was. However, because it was M&S, their clock ticking had basically reached that day where they were like, nope, this has to come off the shop floor now. We've got our new stock arriving. And so when I say there was pallets, there were pallets and pallets and pallets of good quality, amazingly fresh, good, whatever the potatoes are that you use for jacket potatoes, whatever, King Edwards. They weren't King Edwards because that's old potatoes. Whatever they were, big jackety potatoes. And it ended up being a struggle to give them to schools and places before, they were going off, because people can only use so many potatoes. But yeah, it's one of those things that certainly in the UK, there's a whole lot of confusion over the different labels. I know some people who open up the fridge and go, oh, that's got yesterday's date on it, got to chuck it. Excuse me. And they'll do that with everything. And whilst I'm not an advocate for having something in the shelf that is like 3 years in the shelf, having something in the cupboard that's 3 years out of date, we also know that if the zombie apocalypse happened tomorrow, right, and everybody, half the planet was wiped out by zombies, and then we all had to go foraging for our food, you would go and get the tins. And a tin of ... mixed beans in water, in brine, in salt. You get the kidney beans, the borlotti beans, the cannelloni beans, all of that. Tin of mixed beans in salted water that has best before 2026. If zombie apocalypse happens in late 2026 and that tin of beans, mixed beans, is on the shelf, and you find it in 2029 or 2032, it will still be perfectly edible. If you find it in 2052, that might be a bit different, but they're designed to be stored for a long period of time. So yeah, there you go. That's a thing. And it's really, if you look at the food industry and the amount of waste, oh God, I could go on a soapbox here, especially around bread. Bread is the worst thing. Bread is ridiculously overproduced and designed to last at home far longer than it does on the shelves. It is absolutely ridiculous as bread. But all of our food produce is on. It's so weird. It's so weird how we've gone from paying for quality and having food that was seasonal but fresh within season, to now having food that is mass produced, imported, and done as cheaply as possible. And that means, because it's all done on the lowest price per unit or lowest price per multiple, the supply chain is so tight. And what that means is, if there's unseasonal weather, right, you know, in summer where you've got all the salads, if there is a week where there is it's unseasonably cool in the middle of July, for instance, which in the UK happens, and so you don't get as many people going out and buying tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever it is, because suddenly it's a lot cooler. On Friday of that week, that supermarket may have 24 pallets of cucumbers in the back waiting to go out. First thing Monday morning, they have 22 pallets for the following week coming in, or whatever the numbers are, for that following week's cucumbers that have already been ordered. They were ordered back in January. They were grown and produced and shipped probably last month, and have been sat in that supermarket or sat in a cool warehouse owned by the supermarket for a while. Now at that point, your local Asda, Tesco, whatever supermarket has two options. One is to say, we're not going to have this week's order of cucumbers because I've got all of last week's still on the shelf and waiting to come out, or they write off the ones that are on the shelves and the ones that are in the back and make space for Monday's delivery by writing off all the ones they've already got. And that will vary depending supermarkets, but basically that order's already on its way. There's no way for them to turn it down. They can't send it back. If it's at the warehouse already, then the warehouse has to get rid of them, because when the warehouse ships theirs out on Monday afternoon, a new delivery arrives at the warehouse. Everything is done on such tight corners and such tight deadlines that there's no way, if you get 1 week of unseasonable weather, the entire chain backs up, and then you can't have projects that sat there. People don't want to get cucumbers that are a week old, a little bit soft. They'll be absolutely fine. If it was in your fridge, it would be absolutely fine, but you don't want to buy that at full price from the supermarket. So because of that, it gets completely written off. And then it used to go straight into bins. These days, with the sort of ecological movement as strong as it is, a lot of that doesn't happen as much. But I saw somebody put bread goes to pig farms. It does, and fish farms sometimes, but a lot of it ends up in landfill. A lot of perfectly good vegetable produce, salad produce, grown produce ends up in landfill, because it's, how do you get rid of it? Right? Your local supermarket with that 22 pallets of cucumbers, what do they do with it? There isn't a nationwide supply chain for that surplus food. So what happens is, unless there are charities nearby that work closely with that supermarket, there are some now in the UK, but there's not a lot of them. Some food banks work with some supermarkets, but again, there's not a lot of them. Supermarkets themselves tend to step in, cancel the order from the warehouse level, and or from the regional distributing warehouse, and then give it to local food banks, local charities to dispose of it that way. Fair Share is one in the UK that's around most of the UK. But then what happens so the supermarket then says, oh, we donated our waste bread to Fair Share and to Project X over in wherever. Great, hurrah, you get the green points. The stuff the order they cancelled at the warehouse, that's still got to go somewhere. And there isn't a supply network to deal with that. And this is the problem when we're dealing with, and I'm as guilty as everybody else. We go to Lidl, a cut price supermarket. We do the same thing. If something, we try and buy, you're seeing all our whole videos, we try and buy sticker items as much as we can. We're very flexible on the way that we food prep and food plan. so that we can have that flexibility, partly for cost savings and partly because it means we're helping to deal with surplus food in our own little way. And if, tomorrow I was going to do a roast dinner, for example, if Rufus comes home tomorrow evening and says, I got this stir fry, or no, say if Rufus messages me tomorrow and says, I was just in Asda and they had loads of stir fry mix, so I picked us up some for tomorrow. I'll go, okay, no worries. My head will go, I've got the chicken defrosting. Right, so instead of doing a roast chicken, what I'll do is I'll cook the chicken the same and then, pull it apart with a fork, so that you do a pulled pork. I'll flake the chicken effectively, like strip it down, and I'll put that in a stir fry. So I'll keep the veggies in the fridge and on the veg rack. They'll be okay for another day or two. Keep them there. And so we have a lot of flexibility in our food planning, and partly it's because of surplus food projects. But oh my God, the waste in the food industry is disgusting. It really is, and it opens your eyes. We once had, this is years ago, when we were volunteering at the surplus food place, we had, I keep saying 24, I think it was actually 24 pallets. And bearing in mind the pallets were probably stacked, I think 5.5 feet high, whatever that is in meters. It might be just under 1 meter 50, I think 1 meter 70, something like that. They were almost up to my nose anyway, and I'm 2 meters, no, 180, whatever I am, 6 foot. Anyway, they had 24, 26 pallets of plums from Spain. So they've been grown in Spain. All that water, all of that manpower, all of that heat, everything else, all of that stuff that it takes to grow them, the water, the fertilizer, and then they got picked, whether that's by machine or by people. They all got picked and then boxed and then shipped. And on their way to the UK, the order was told to divert from a famous supermarket warehouse because they were no longer needed, because the next lot were already being boxed and packaged, and the lot that were on the shelves hadn't gone because of unseasonal weather. So the place that we used to volunteer at got this delivery in, got a phone call basically going, we got 26 pallets of plums. Can you take them off our hands? Because otherwise that warehouse would have to pay for them to be disposed of. And it was something like £100 a tonne or whatever it is. Says the food surplus place, okay, we'll take them. For days, for weeks, there were plums being given to absolutely anybody that walked in. Literally, you get a free box of plums with anything you order. Come and have some plums. Hi, you're at school, have these plums. Absolutely tons of plums everywhere that you could think of. We actually had a couple of the regular customers were making plum wine, plum jam, plum vinegar, you name it, and they ended up bringing me in some amazing plum produce that was homemade. It was so delicious. But this was just 26 pallets, nearly 6 foot high, of plums, and the waste, and it was just written off because it was surplus. No longer, hadn't even got to store shelves, hadn't even got to the regional warehouse yet. It was just, oops, there's a mistake in that supply chain. It hasn't moved from this end fast enough at the supermarkets. Therefore, there's now a bubble. We've got nowhere for that to go. Warehouse says, supermarket says, cancelling that order. Warehouse says, oh, well, technically we haven't got it in yet. We can't cancel it because it's already on the road. Absolutely bonkers. So yeah. Anyway, rant over. It's the food industry is mad when you actually delve into it. It really is. Dormouse, you're struggling with eating, constantly feel full, but can't speak today, so way too easy not to eat, then add you and grumping at each other, your head on both count, saying belt up but dormouse is cross. Oh, I'm so sorry, my darling. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to suggest. Is there something that you can eat that will at least give you some energy to sustain yourself? I know it's awful when you're not feeling hungry. Is there anything you can have that you vaguely fancy, even if it's not part of a plan, a food plan, a health plan? Melinda, you've got passed by and Best Buy, sorry, and expired. Okay. That's good. Yep, that's good. Code Deb, you never ate the chocolate. Instead of shoving it in your mouth today, you got rid of it. That's good. You don't buy carrots with the green leaf on top. The leaf is still taking goodness out and the carrot goes off quickly. I've heard the opposite in some places. Some people will only buy carrot with the leaves on because they think it's, more natural. So yeah, it varies. You use frozen veg so much as frozen so quickly after picking. Also, with in-season fruit and veg, you prep and freeze at home. Yep. You froze so many just picked strawberries to use over winter. We ate all of our strawberries. I will say that. We ate all of our strawberries that we grew this year and enjoyed every single one of them. They were delicious. You work for a supermarket and the out-of-date bread goes to the pig farms. Yep, there is so much waste. Yep, Karen. And you're not allowed to give it away to people past a certain point. I know. Bread comes in yours, bagged into 4 slices and straight to the freezer to stop any waste. See, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I wish the supermarkets would do similar. I really do. You feed everything to your chickens, Melinda, ducks, turkey, unless it's citrus or onions. You see, that also, I think, is wonderful because you're dealing with food waste by creating more food. We've now got 2 composters and oh god, there's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's not. Don't say that, Lisa. It's not called that. It's called something like bushaki. Not the word I was going to say. I can't remember. It basically turns veggies into liquid fertilizer. So you put a thing on it, some powder granules, enzyme. I don't know what it is. It's Rufus's, and it basically goes yum 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 and gets rid of all of the gubbins, all of the stuff, all of the peelings and everything else. Eats away it all and then turns it into like a liquid fertilizer that you can pour out and use for your plants. So that's really good. And we've got 2 rotating, tumbling composters that do the same thing. So they're really good. Kimberly, you're just back. I'm just back. I needed your dad came by. I needed you to help him with security cameras. Okie dokie. You're catching up. That's good. Get the pink hair, says Kimberly. Yep, me too. I agree, Dormouse. Get the pink hair. Folk need knowledge and skills on cooking, preserving food. So much wasted. Your daughter's friends now, as adults, appreciated time in your kitchen being taught these skills. Yep, exactly. You do well with frozen veg, but not all are good frozen. You do it because you're not sure when it's going to be used. Exactly. What's that one, Rivets? I can't see what that emoji is. Oh, is that a stinky? Is that a stinky face? Is that a throwing uppy face? I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that one is, Leanne. But yeah, it's the composters don't smell. Our ones don't smell. The rotating ones, they do it really quickly. So, you might have known what the other word was that I was going to say. I think it's got, I can't remember what they're called. I'm sure it's called, I want to say bushcraft, and it isn't bushcraft, but that's my brain going, it's something like, it's a Japanese word, I think it is, and it means something, and it's to do with this composting technique. I don't know. Oh look, you can see my mouse on screen. That's interesting. Hello. I was about to say, can you actually see that? Oh yeah, it was that. Okay, yeah, okay, all right, okay. Oh gosh, my coffee is spilling everywhere. What else have I got to update you on? I don't think I've really got much else to update you on, really. I've been doing. Mr. Rivet knew the word you had in your head. I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you mean at all, Leanne. I can't comment. I think it was bushcraft. But bushcrafty. It's not called that. It's something like that. It isn't going to be anything like that, is it? It's going to be like Kobayashi. It isn't Kobayashi Maru, that's a Star Trek reference, but you know, for those of you that know, you know. But it isn't Kobayashi, but it's something like that. I don't remember what the blinking hell it was. Anyway, it's a really good compost technique and it's supposed to work really fast. I don't know if it does or not. But Rufus did grow some really lovely veg this year. We've still got some squashes that he grew, butternut squashes. We still got some of the tomatoes that are... They're ripening slowly on the windowsill. There's not a lot of sun at the moment, obviously, because it's now... It's not yet winter, but we're getting into winter. But yeah, we've still got some tomatoes to ripen out. But we've got loads of squash. Butternut squash and winter squash that Rufus grew. There's still some strawberries that are still like late crop strawberries that are coming through. We had loads of herbs this year. Runner beans did nothing at all. That was a complete waste of effort, the runner beans. Bokashi. Is that what it's called? See, it may be. That may well be it. That may well be it. There you go. You've probably just done a Google, haven't you? You've probably just done a Google. Have I made a start on sorting of the living room? I made a start by organising where the Legos are. Does that count? Does that answer your question, Dormouse? No, I have. I have slowly. Although, doing a big sorting out for me, I've done this before, right? Hang on, let me move the microphone closer. I have done this before where I've organised a big load of stuff, taking ages to organise and resort and move things. And Rufus has come home and it doesn't look any different. Because all I've done is move things. That's the ADHD in me. I do want to get this room sorted. I think we've decided what we're going to do with this next year. I think the plan for next year is to actually put large tables in here in the back and to put the Lego City or Lego Town, it's not going to be a city, Lego Town on there. And I've got loads of stuff in here that, again, my ADHD brain, when I was doing jewellery, went, I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm going to do this, this, this and this and this. It's going to be amazing. I bought tons. If anybody wants to buy some beads, crystal beads, I have loads in loads of different varieties. Just, you know. Yeah. At least with Legos, they hold their value a little bit better than crystal beads do. Bonkers. But that's just me. That's just my ADHD brain going, I've had this idea, let's run with it. And before I'm ready to do anything, my brain is like 27 steps down the line. Not good. So I do want to... Oh, excuse me. And as you can see, though, by the buildings I've done, I am building a Lego town, a Lego village. I've got the Sanderson sisters' Hocus Pocus house to build, and also the Owens sisters' house from Practical Magic. I can't wait to build those two. They're going to be so cool. How does that fit in with an actual town with Slimland and all the rest of it in? Who knows? I'll have a little witchy area and a little spooky town. There's also the Beetlejuice house that I've seen that I'm kind of like, oh, I want that as well. Oh, and Rufus has bought me a non-branded Up house from Disney Pixar's Up, which also I'm looking forward to that coming. So it's going to be a very, very strange town, but I'm looking forward to it because, again, it's that thing of there's storytelling and all these wonderful things that you can do, and I can do little videos and things, but also just the building process is fun. But yeah, the bit I don't like is the bit of tidying up and sorting out and clearing and emptying, because that's the bits that my brain goes, nope. To be fair, the plan yesterday, that was my plan yesterday, and I ended up dealing with poor Pussycat. Because, you know, abandoned neighbourhood cats like Felix, like Rufus. That was the picture. That was the comment I put on the picture to the mods yesterday. So yeah, that took a lot of my time yesterday evening. And then I woke up. I've been knackered today because I slept on the sofa so that if Mr. Felix was mewing, I could wake up and let him out and do whatever I needed to do. Today's been a very low spoon day. A very low spoon day indeed. But no, we are... What are we on? We are just past. No, come on, brain. Was it full moon? Was that new moon? It might have been full moon. That might be why I'm a bit. Is that even this month? Yes, it is this month. I know, right? I'm such a bad witch. I can't remember when the full moon is. To be fair, I don't remember. I remember seeing the moon now, but I don't know whether that was 3 days ago or 3 months ago, because time doesn't work the same for people. A low spoon day. So Kimberly, somebody asked this before. Practical Magic is one of your favourite movies. Oh my God, I love it so much. I knew there was a reason we were friends, Kimberly. I'm not commenting anything, Dormouse, on my face about the lounge. It's slowly getting there. It's all right. Your butcher's has a herb garden outside for anyone to pick. Oh my God, Lisa, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And also the fact that you have a local butcher. Our nearest local butcher closed down last year and is now a takeaway. I was gutted. It was on the 20th. Thank you. I thought it was. I'm like, we had the full moon literally a couple of days ago. And then my brain went, no, that's a new moon sign on my calendar. And then I got really confused. I was like, no, I'm sure we've just had the full moon, because I tend to feel it and I tend to comment on it. And when I go outside, I go, oh, look, I was right. And I've done that. But again, I did it saying that to Rufus. Oh, look, see, it was a full moon. But that could have been any time in the last 6 months, because that's a regular occurrence. No, so low spoon. The spoon theory is a way that was done. It's, tell you what, everybody grab your coffee. Lisa, Education Lisa is here. Teacher Lisa is here. So then, there we go. So, for those of us that have invisible illnesses, and by that it can mean anything like fibromyalgia, ME, even things like depression and severe anxiety, clinical depression, severe anxiety, illnesses that are energy zapping or energy sapping with an S, illnesses that basically mean that you struggle to do day-to-day stuff, right? The way it's described is that hang on. The way it's described is that basically, when you have a life-limiting illness such as that, and one that is invisible, you have this thing where each day everybody in the world is given a set number of spoons, right? Each task that you do per day takes a set level of spoons. So each task you do, you hand back spoons. And the reason it's called spoons is that apparently, so the story goes, the person who came up with this theory was talking about this in a cafe, and they used either the plastic spoons or the wooden stirrers that you get in a coffee house, right? So they basically, look, I'm going to do it with, I know, right? I'm going to do it with candles. So I've got here some candles, okay? They don't get caught up about the fact they're black. These are actually just the ones that I have to one hand. Yes, they're black candles, but they are just candles. In fact, probably when you burn them, you'll find that they are red inside. In fact, yeah, they are, because look, you can see it there. These were just from Poundland when they were getting rid of their Halloween ones. I use a lot of candles, don't really care what the colour is unless I'm using candle magic. Anyway, pretend they're spoons for the purpose of explanation, right? So you were given a set number of things: spoons, candles, spoons, and you've got to do your daily tasks. So the person explaining this theory says to the person sat next to them, and I'm going to explain it to you in the same way. Right, okay, so Kimberly, here are your spoons. Now, what do you do? How do you start your day? So you might say, well, I get up and I get washed and dressed, and then I will go to, I'll go and get some breakfast. Okay, so that's a spoon. That's a whole spoon that takes, right? Okay, and then once I've got my breakfast, I'll eat breakfast, and then if it's a work day, then I'm dressed ready for work already. So I might take the dogs out, take them on a bit of a walk, and then head off to work. Okay, so you go take the dogs out, head off to work. Right. Okay, so that's that's half a spoon, right? So that's only half. And then when I've got to work, I probably work for a few hours, and then I'll go to, then it'll be lunchtime. I don't really use any spoons at lunchtime because I just eat dinner. It's a break. So that's probably half a spoon, because that's, it's not too taxing. Okay, so that one's gone. And then after lunch, I'll do a bit more work, and then I'll go home and take the dogs out again, and then I'll watch a bit of telly and think about something for dinner. So okay, that's probably another one of those. Yes, that's probably another one of those. And then after I've done that, I'll have something I'll make something for tea. I'll eat that, and then watch a bit of telly. And then if I'm not doing anything else, I might have a look on YouTube for a bit, have a chat to people on Facebook, and then probably go to bed. So I'll probably have a shower, then I'll go to bed. So that's not really that difficult, is it? Doing dinner and all the other stuff. So that's probably a spoon. And then when I'm in bed, I'll just watch a bit more telly, watch some YouTube, and yeah, that's probably my last spoon. That'll do that, and then I'll go to sleep. Okay, that's good. So that's used all your 5 spoons, says other person. For those of us with life-limiting illnesses, let's go through those same tasks. Here's our same set level of spoons. This is assuming that we are on a good day and we start the day with a standard level of spoons. For me personally, today, because I didn't sleep very well and I was sleeping on the sofa and I was half asleep, half awake, trying to listen out for Pussycat in case meow, 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 and he was scratching to go out. I actually started the day on a lot less spoons than normal, but we'll forget about that. So, we wake up, get washed, get dressed, do our ablutions, and make some breakfast. Okay, and you said that took maybe half a spoon or a spoon. And take the dogs out before you go to work. Right, that's a whole spoon. Yeah. Right, okay. So, for me, getting up and doing my ablutions in the morning could be a whole spoon, because when my fibro kicks in, when the pain levels are so high, I haven't slept a lot from the night before, so everything takes more effort. So my single spoon that you would use would probably take me 2 or 3 of my energy spoons. Or okay, again, we'll use candles. It will take, instead of, for you, a third of your spoon is gone going to the bathroom, your ablutions and washing. For me, it's probably more like half to 2/3 of my spoon, because I'm in pain, and some mornings I can't do anything until I take my painkillers. So if I wake up and I need the loo instantly, then I've got very few choices other than to get to the loo pretty damn quick. But that then uses emergency spoons and emergency power to get me there. Once I'm there, I can quite often either crash out and literally fall asleep on the loo. I've done that. Rufus has numerous times gone, where is she? Oh, there's Lisa, unconscious, sat on the loo. And then, so I've got to the loo. That's taken up say a quarter of my spoons. I've then got to get washed, which means undressing from whatever I wore to bed, and then washing, and then drying myself, and then putting that clothing I've just taken off, picking it up and putting it in the wash basket, and going back into the bedroom, trying to then make a decision about what underwear I'm going to wear for the next day, or for that day rather, and then putting all of that on. Sometimes that in itself can take another half a spoon, because my executive function doesn't work very well. When my ADHD is running rampant and I haven't slept and I'm in pain, making a decision is so bad. It's so difficult. It'll be like I'll sit there and look at options and go, what do I do? And I go, what? Can't make a decision. The decision may only be, what underwear am I putting on? What bra am I wearing? Am I wearing a wide strappy bra like this one, like a sports bra type thing today? Or am I grabbing a normal type bra with a strappy thing? Like, what am I grabbing today? That might be the only decision, but sometimes I'll be like, right, hang on, well, the sports one is more comfy, but the regular bra has more lift and is better if I go out. So if I'm going out, right, so what am I planning today? What day is it today? Today is Sunday. So I'm not actually going out anywhere, but I am going to be streaming. So if I'm streaming, then, right, that's going to depend on what I'm wearing over the top. So if I'm wearing something over the top that you can see, then I need to put my actual bra on, because that will give me more lift, which will deal with the dysphoria. However, if I'm going to wear something dark, like I am, then I can get away with a sports bra, because you can't really see the lumps and bumps so much. So that doesn't matter. So, okay, so in order for me to wear something dark, my brain does all of this while I'm calculating. In order for me to wear something dark, what have I got that's clean and or isn't offensive to wear online? I don't have a lot of offensive shirts, but some of my shirts, being, you know, a bit gothy, some of my stuff might have something like raise hell on it, or, you know, it might have a cuss word on it, which obviously YouTube being YouTube these days, I can't put that out there online, so I can't wear that. So, okay, mental aerobics goes on, la 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 la. Right, so all of this happens before I've even put my underwear on. That's quite easily a third of a spoon, quarter of a spoon, a big chunk of a spoon. Then I put the underwear on. Sometimes I'll have a sensory issue. It won't feel right when I put it on, so I'll have to change it. And it could be that the bra strap is a bit, it's digging in a little bit on my shoulders, and that's causing me some pain because of the fibro, because I haven't slept. I'm a bit sensitive in that area. Or maybe physically cannot put my bra on because my arms won't go behind my back to do it up. So I then try and do it up in front, and sometimes the dexterity in my hands isn't great. Cannot literally get the normal bra hook and eyes done. So if Rufus isn't here, then okay, well, I end up wearing a sports bra anyway. In which case, if I wear the sports bra anyway, it means I've got to change the top I'm wearing to... Do you know what I mean? So all of that goes on, and I still haven't even got into the kitchen and decided what I'm having for breakfast, or put the kettle on for a coffee, or let the dogs out. Spoon theory basically says, for those of us that have those limiting illnesses, A, we start the day with less spoons, and B, doing a single task that might make a neurotypical or I don't know whether the right word would be non-disabled or non-illness bearing, or, you know, somebody without life-limiting illnesses. That person might be able to do those tasks in one whole spoon or in 2 spoons, and for me it might take 7. Even though they start the day with 20 spoons, I start the day with 15. Half of my spoons are gone to complete one task, basically, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is kind of what that is. Explained very badly because, as I say, I haven't had a lot of sleep and I am actually running on very low spoons. So yeah, that's the thing, if that makes sense. I need to build a Lego takeaway for your town. We have the food fair, which has we've got food trucks, we've got a city pizza, and a pizza stall, and we have what else is there in there? There's a coffee store, a coffee cart. There is, because there has to be coffee. There is a fast food burger chips type place, and yeah, and also the pizza place does have a delivery service on a little scooter with a driver and little pizza boxes that go in the back of the scooter. So yeah, that's all there. Audrey, you knocked over your milky coffee earlier, currently sitting with a damp towel on your foot. I know, right? I know they say don't cry over spilt milk. However, don't cry over spilt coffee. Hell yeah, that I do, because it's coffee. Melinda, you have a few yourself. Fialbra, AS, and ADHD. Sounds awful. I feel your pain. Dormouse, you have enough spoons to do battle with Pain Clinic on Thursday. They will go, are you depressed, anxious? Have you tried meditation, mindfulness and manifesting? Dormouse will bite her tongue. Yep. Dealing with the medical profession takes several spoons. It really does. It really does. Well, it could be your weight. Listen, I've lost 6.5 stone in the last year. It isn't my sodding weight. Oh, well, it could be your hormones. Right. Have a look at the last time you checked my hormones. Have a look at the levels. Can you make head nor sense of them as a trans person? Oh, you don't know what they mean. I do know what they mean because I have to know what they mean, and my levels are absolutely fine. Thank you very much. They're in the normal range for me, and also in the normal range for a non-trans woman of my age. Therefore, it isn't my hormones. It isn't my weight. Can you please investigate what else might be going on in my body to cause these problems? No, we'll just give you lots of diabetic medication, and we'll just keep increasing it and and then you'll be fine. Actual conversations I had last year before, realising that the medication I was on was actually causing me all the health problems and making me very poorly. I hadn't lost 6.5 stone at that point, but you get my drift. Melinda, you've only fell asleep on the loo maybe a handful of times. It's really bad. Every time I do it, right, my leg then goes to sleep. So I then try and move, and I've got a sleepy dead leg, and I cannot move. So I'm then stuck there. There's only been one occasion where I've had to go, Rufus, I'm stuck, because I've fallen asleep or crashed out on the loo, and then because I've been sat there and because I haven't got enough fat on my legs and bum anymore, my legs have then gone to sleep, and I've had to literally go, if I move, I'm going to fall on the floor, but I can't sit here anymore because I can't feel my legs. So help. That has actually happened to me. Yes. Then you have low spoon days often. Anytime you're out in a jovial setting, it zaps a lot of energy. Yeah, you have to come home and sometimes need a couple of days at home to yourself. Oh my god. Yep. No, Violet, I can't do that, but thank you for the advice. You have I have low spoon life, and not a divial, a social setting. I can't do social settings. When we have to go to Slimming World, I enjoy going to Slimming World. We only sit there for 45 minutes once it all starts. So there's like half an hour, 20 minutes before the meeting starts. And then we're out of there. That starts at 4:30. Normally by 5:15 at the latest, we're out of there. But sometimes that 45 minutes is too much. On a low spoon day, I can't handle it. I can't handle being around people. I can't handle conversations. I can't hear sometimes. Nightmare. I am the person, and I've told this story numerous times, but we once went to a Christmas event, a Christmas dinner that was organised, that a friend of mine was going to, that was organised and everything else, and we bought tickets, and it was an LGBTQIA plus, so a queer event. Everybody there was queer, everybody there was super friendly, and it was in Manchester. I'd bought a new frock. I'd lost a bit of weight at that point, feeling really good, feeling really sassy, feeling myself, loving my frock. It was an Adele type frock. I remember it vividly. Rufus looked really good. I looked really good. Hair done, everything done. I think I even had the hair done for the night. Really, really like going to town on this Christmas dinner and going with my friend and meeting other friends of his, and really looking forward to it. Got all the way over there to Manchester, which is hour and a half drive from here. On the way, found out that my friend was running late, so we were like, right, okay. We pulled up in the car a little while before he did, and so we were like, okay, well, we'll just sit outside. It was bitterly cold, so we went, okay, look, we'll just go inside. And he said, oh, I'll be there in a couple of minutes. We'll just, wait for me at the bar. Okay, so in we go. I get a Diet Coke, as does Rufus, because he was driving. And so we stood at the bar, and a couple of people come up to us and they say, oh, are you Lisa and Rufus? Yeah. Oh, hi, you must be so-and-so's friends. You're Lisa and Rufus, aren't you? Sorry. And we go, oh, yes, we are, yes. Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm here with the group. Do you want to come through and meet us? Nope. Says I. Actually, I don't think I did. I think I went, I said, oh, it's okay. I said, we've said that we'll meet our friend at the bar, so I'll just hang on here for him. It won't be long. Okay. 10 minutes later, someone comes back out to get a drink, because they were in the whole dinner thing was in a separate area. So they come over to the bar bit, where at this point we're both, or at least I'm sat on a bar stool. My anxiety is now running 28 to the dozen. It's not even 19 to the dozen, literally. And I'm like, where the hell is he? Where the hell is he? He said he'll be here. Where the hell is he? This other person says, oh, hi, Lisa, Rufus. I'm so-and-so. Somebody else. Come on through. Come with us, they say. Dinner's not coming yet, but come through. We'll introduce you to everyone. And friend should be here soon, and we'll save him a space. And come and get your seats. At least you'll be in here comfortably. Terror ran through me. I was like, no, absolutely, I'm perfectly fine. We'll just wait for him. It's a bit rude. We ended up. I got into such a state with my social setting and everything else that basically by the time our friend walked in, which was only about 5 minutes after he said he was going to be there, but it was about 15, maybe 20 minutes late, so maybe 10 minutes later than he said. At that point, I handed him the bag of Christmas presents, the gift bag, and basically went, here's your presents, Merry Christmas, we're going now. And I walked out of there. Me and Rufus got in the car and we drove home, and we went home via a McDonald's because, we weren't on a particular plan at that time, because my anxiety was so bad, absolutely so bad, that there was no way that I could stay there. And that was just my social ineptitude basically kicking off. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And then I spent the next few days absolutely recovering, because I'd built it all up into a particular big event, and then when it hadn't gone the way in my head that I thought it would go, and in all the various scenarios that is not something that I had planned for, it basically meant that when the unexpected happened, my brain completely shut down and was just like, run away, danger, Will Robinson, danger. And you have nights you don't sleep till 2 a.m. Luckily, me and Rufus have now got ourselves into a sort of non-sleep pattern where we are able to basically go, okay, it is 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, we've just eaten, or like normally we eat about 7:30, 8:00. So it might be like, okay, it's 9:30, done the washing up. I'm going to go to bed now because I'm exhausted. Or I might go, okay, Rufus, you're heading to bed at 11:30. Okay, I'm going to watch some ... mindless TV here. I'm going to watch some telly, going to watch some YouTube. I might do some editing, and I'll come to bed shortly. That shortly could be 6 a.m, 7 a.m, because my brain won't shut off, and that's just the way my brain is, unfortunately. Your spoons are depleted right now. You love you all, but you're going to go lay down and rest. Maybe you'll be back on later if you do the other channel. I will be on the other channel, my darling. Take care, Melinda. As Audrey says, take care. I sound like you coaching your PIP clients. You have PIP clients. I don't know what PIP clients are. Well explained. No, it wasn't. It would have been better explained if I had more things that weren't big, thick, chunky candles. If I had more thin items that were smaller, like spoons or those wooden stirrers, it would have been much better. I've got very good at explaining spoon theory to people. However, because I am currently experiencing the problems of being a spoonie, that's why if anyone's on Facebook, if anyone's my friend on Facebook, occasionally my cover photo, forgot what it was called for a second, will say it will be a empty cutlery drawer, and it'll have knives and forks in it, and like, what's it called, the other utensil bits, you know, spatulabs and things like that. But the drawer section, the teaspoon section, will be missing. It'll be empty. So yeah, if there's too much going on, too many people, etc., you shut down. You're better at home and out in nature than a sprinkle of social things to balance it out. Yep, absolutely. Audrey, hubby can't sit in a car for long periods. Pain clinic is 120. Jesus, Audrey, where do you live? 120-mile radius to the pain clinic. They wonder why he doesn't go to his appointments. Oh my God, can't they come to him? Jesus. Yeah, absolutely. Long drives stress you out. Absolutely. 120-mile round trip. And you've got to sit in the car in pain for all that time. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, it's a bit like Rufus and his physio. Like, he's had it where he goes to the physio, and she said the first appointment was the worst one, because she went, okay, as she has to check your range of movement, she says, can you do like the side to side bit, the uppy downy bit, and then, see, that's going to click already. She says, can you do this one where you've got to, so basically you are bringing your ear to your shoulder on each side. That's what she said. Now that is a little bit, oh God, that really does grind actually. It probably means I've got something as well that I need to deal with. But anyway, so yeah, that motion of doing that. And he says, oh, I can do this one where you keep your head like, I guess, straight up and down, and you just not pivot, you twist it from side to side, so you're not actually, your ears and everything stay perpendicular. Is that right? They stay, you know, you're not moving your ear to your shoulder, put it that way. So you just twist, you're not kind of bending your neck. There you go, that's the word. You're twisting, not bending. So that one. And then she says, can you do, so he says, oh no, I can do that one where I'm twisting my neck, and I can do the one where I bring my chin to my chest and then put my head back. And then she says, what about this other one, ear to shoulders? And he goes, oh no, that's really bad. Oh no, that's really bad. And she says, okay, well, can you stand and do it? Ow, ow, he goes. Okay, can you do this? Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie my couch. And she went, okay, right, I'm not going to ask you to do that again. For about 6 days afterwards, he was in agony because she'd basically made him do this to check whether he could do it. And because he'd bent his shoulder to his no, his ear to his shoulder on the other side, because he'd bent his neck in that direction. He was in agony for ages afterwards, and it was like, okay, so you go to the physio to help with your range of motion and doing the one thing, because it was the first time, and because obviously she was checking on whether his neck had healed properly, his spine after the spine operation. That was awful. I can understand why going to the pain clinic or going to the physio or going to places like that. The only time I ever went to a pain clinic, they were like, we see on your meds you're on all these pain relievers already. Have you tried this and this? And I was like, yeah, it don't work. And they were like, have you tried mindfulness? Have you ever thought of mindfulness? And I was like, I've got a diploma in mindfulness. What's next? Like, what are you going to ask me next? Have I considered FODMAP diet? Yep, been there, done that. Have you considered this? Yep, been there, done that. Tried everything. Nightmare. That's too far if you're already in pain, says Kimberly. Absolutely. So too far if you're not in bloody pain. Hello all, says Ed. Hello Ed. You meant for Audrey, yeah? Pain clinic is a literal pain, Kimberly, says Dormouse. You can advocate for yourself well, but they just ignore and talk down to you. Infuriating, to say the least. Yeah. The rivets. Personal independence payments. If you don't have it, you should. How are you a client of PIP then? I don't understand how any of that works. Walkies with Annie Pop. Oh, Ed, that sounds amazing. Kimberly, you did not have a good experience with what? With doctor there when... Let me read that again. You didn't have a good experience with the doctor there when in the UK. You were having severe fatigue, etc. They told you needed to get a job because you were at home too much. They'd never tell you that in the States. They told you that. Oh my God. Do you know what? In that case, I would have complained to my GP if they'd said that. That does sound... That you say that sounds standard, Dormouse. Absolutely not. If my GP had said that to me, I would have told them to go screw themselves. But the thing is, this is the thing, right? This is the problem I had with doctors in general. The diabetic nurse... I know, right? Keep banging on about this. The diabetic nurse is the one who put me on super high amounts of diabetic medication and kept increasing it. It wasn't until I had the issue with my foot and I got the infection in the bone and could have lost my foot, my toe, that went to the diabetic salvage team, the foot salvage team, the specialist department, and they went, why are you on this amount of whatever the medication was? And I went, I don't know, because that's what they said. The diabetic nurse put me on it, and she went, no, you shouldn't be on this. This will cause trouble with your pancreas and will make the problem worse. You shouldn't be on this amount of it. We're going to take you off that immediately. Don't take any more of that. And I was like, okay. The diabetic specialist nurse is the one who put me on that amount of specialist diabetic medication. I kind of thought she knew what she was doing. So yeah, I can get that. It was a lovely walkies till the last 20 minutes when it started raining. It's been raining here all day, Ed. I wanted to take doggos around the block, and it is bitterly cold. As I'm sat here now, I'm going to have to put the heating back on, because as I'm sat here now, my foot is like a block of ice, and yeah, it has been raining all day. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't have either snow or at least ice first thing in the morning. I think Mr. Felix is going to have to come in again, because otherwise he'll be a catsicle. Do you know what I mean? He will be a catsicle. Your sister's GP told her she was stressed, said sort out your problems and you'll be okay, and she had cancer. What? She had cancer, she was stressed because of the cancer, or they thought she had stress and it was actually cancer? I mean, either way, it's pretty crappy advice. But I went to the GP because... I went to the GP because I was having problems with... TMI, intermittent thrush. because I'm diabetic, it's a common side effect of untreated diabetes, and I was on all my meds at that time, the wrong medication as we now know. But anyway, so I was on it, but I was getting regular problems because there was a lot of sugar in my wee, and I wasn't on a Slimming World type plan then. And anyway, they sent me to urology and said, right, we'll have a look, we'll try and sort this out, la 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 la, right, okay, this is what we can do with that. Okay. And then he said, was there anything else? I said, oh yeah, just while I'm here, I got a few little tiny specks of something that looks like dry blood. I'm guessing it's from the thrush. That was the cancer. That was my bladder cancer. And he went, oh no, that doesn't sound right. I'll send you for some tests. And that's eventually, a few months later, is what got diagnosed as bladder cancer. So yeah, it's difficult. I do get that GPs have an incredibly hard job. And there are so many different things and so many variables with GPs that, you know, when I went and said, I'm having this problem here that, you know, in my, where my tummy is, I'm having a problem. I don't know what it is, but it feels like my bladder is struggling. I don't know why, but it's really uncomfortable. I get a lot of bloating at the moment, but I'm having this issue here. Lots of prodding and pushing and everything else. He got me to wee in a cup so he could test it for blood. There was no blood in my urine, so it wasn't likely to be cancer coming back. Bearing in mind, I only got rid of the cancer in July, so it probably wasn't going to be that. And then he basically went, right, could it be this, 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 and this, and this? And I went, I don't know. And then slowly he whittled down the various different symptoms and basically went, oh, okay, I think it's diverticular disease. That would explain this, 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 and this. We're going to send you for some blood tests just to rule out anything else. But if the blood tests come back okay, then this is pretty much what we think it is. And it's just something you're going to have to live with, basically. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at now with that. But it is difficult because it could have been like I'm just crossing my legs over and getting comfy on the chair. I thought it could have been my appendix, a grumbling appendix. I thought it could have been the cancer. I thought it could have been, you know, all sorts of bits and pieces when you do your Dr. WebMD or whatever it is, Dr. Google. But above all, for me, it was in the same areas where I was having the problems with my bladder. And I was like, what could it be? And he was like, well, look, let me reassure you. You've just had bladder surgery not very long ago. It's unlikely to be. It's long enough ago that it's not a complication, but too soon ago that the cancer's come back and is causing a problem. So it's very unlikely to be that. We'll check your blood, right? You check your wee. There's no blood in your wee, therefore it's not that. Therefore, let's look at other things. And I was like, okay, that's fine then. Let's look at all the other things. And he went through this whole list of different symptoms to try and rule it. So any GP that is just going, oh, you're a bit stressed. Nope. That's where you need to go. Excuse me, can I see another GP, please? If you can get another bloody appointment. Or you just sit there and go, yes, I am stressed because I have this illness that is making me poorly, that is causing me stress. If that makes sense. By the way, drink. Sorry, I should press that every time I take a mouthful and not drink slurp into the microphone. I do apologise if those of you with the misophonia, if you heard that. I am going to wrap it up shortly because I do need to let the doggos back out, because without them going for their afternoon walkies in the it's so funny. Elvie won't even go out for a wee in this weather. I literally have to. She doesn't like the rain, and she doesn't like the cold. And Ember was only born in February, so Ember she hasn't had properly cold weather yet, so she doesn't like it either. But Ember's far more, oh, it's a bit cold out here, I'll run around. Elvie's old And so she goes outside and goes, oh, sod this. I'm going back indoors. It's like, no, you need to go for a toilet. Go for a wee. And she goes, no, I don't think I will. Thank you. I can come in and just, I can pee in the kitchen. It's fine. I can pee on the kitchen floor. Honestly, you can just mop it up. It's fine. Honestly, it's very cold out here, Mum. It's like, no, Alvy, go for a whittle. So yeah, because I haven't taken them out round the block today, I need to let them out, and probably what I will end up doing is going round the back garden and kicking a ball with Eddie for 10 minutes so that he gets a bit of a run. In fact, as long as it's not chucking it down, which it might actually be chucking it down. So yeah. Rachel, can you send me your details so I can send you a side D? I'm not sure what that is. Ed, it's 4:40. Yes, I know, my darling. I'm going to end very shortly. It is shocking. I agree. We say Lisa's. It was stress. You thought it was stress causing the symptom. The doctor thought it was stress causing the symptoms, but it turned out it was cervical cancer. Okay, the rivets. That is absolutely bloody shocking. Rufus, all being good, Rufus should be back tomorrow. The plan keeps changing, Ed, but thank you very much for the offer of taking them out for a walkies tomorrow. If it isn't raining, I will get them out tomorrow afternoon. We'll go around the block. If it's the problem, I say go around the block. It's, you know, it's more than that. But anyway, if it's what was I saying? Oh, Rufus, there you go. That's what I was saying. I was like, oh, brain fart. You literally saw it in real time then, didn't you? My brain literally stopped and I was like, oh, my train of thought has fallen off the tracks. Yeah, all being well, Rufus should be back tomorrow evening. So yeah, you didn't know you could ask for someone else. Absolutely you can. I know the NHS is paid for by taxes and all of that malarkey. But still, you are customers. You can always go to, if it's a big practice, I don't think I've seen the same GP twice. Certainly not 2 appointments in a row. I see the same nursing staff because there's only like 3 or 4 nurses that are there. But most times when I see a GP, if I go for, I don't know, say if I have 4 doctor's appointments in a 3-month period, I might see one doctor twice in that 4 appointment period, possibly. Chances are I'll see a different doctor every time. If I saw the same doctor twice in 6 months, would be probably fairly standard for us at our clinic. But our clinic's dreadful. It really is. You found out another G practice was in your village, so you changed to there. You didn't know you could just go wherever. Yep. You're limited to go to the practice in your town or village. You are relative. If you have a problem, so anyone in the UK, certainly, if you've got a GP that is crap, right, that is saying, oh, you're stressed and you've actually got cancer, or I mean, God, your friend could sue them for that. Genuinely could sue for that if they're misdiagnosed with stress, and you're going, no, I came to see you 3 times, you didn't even send me for a test. Nope. That your friend could absolutely sue for that. If you are in the UK and your GP generally is crap, if there are more than one doctor in that practice, you can ask to see another doctor within the practice. And if you are signed with, say, GPA, and GPA is a bit rubbish, and there is GPB and C, you can ask to see GPB and GPC instead. And if you get on with them and you have a better rapport, you can ask to be transferred onto GP B and C's lists. If it isn't, if you've only got, say that you live in a small town or village and you've only got one GP at that one practice, then you can ask to go to somewhere out of your immediate area. It's never advised, because what happens if ... you need, you need to see a GP urgently, you need urgent care, it then becomes an issue then. But you can, if you've had a problem with one practice and you were in an area where there is only one practice, you can go somewhere else. And also you've got this thing in the UK called the right to choose, which I need to be on top of, because I need to get my blooming ADHD official paperwork sorted. However, the executive dysfunction is so bad that I can't even go and do it. It's so annoying. But yeah, I need to chase up on that, she says, knowing full well that ain't going to happen. But yeah, theoretically, Ed, Rufus should be back tomorrow evening. He was coming home on Tuesday mornings, like leaving early. But he's going to try and leave late afternoon on Mondays now to get back in time for when we normally have dinner, which is quite late Monday evening, so that he can sleep and then recover basically for Tuesday for when we go off and get weighed. You've only one GP and two practices at your village clinic. Oh, Audrey, my darling, you do live up in the middle of nowhere. Like, you probably have more ... penguins, puffins, dragons. I'm sure that Audrey lives in the top north part of Scotland. Scotland? Don't do the accent, Lisa. It's a Doctor Who quote. My brain is full on ADHDing right now. It's full on jumping. I'm sure that Audrey lives way up north in the top part of Scotland, and therefore it makes perfect sense that you only have a village clinic and one GP and two practice nurses. If you had a problem with that clinic, though, you could probably go to a clinic the next village over, if you under right to choose. Oh, I don't know about NHS Scotland, but if under right to choose, assuming that's a whole Britain-wide policy, you could go to a doctor's the next village over. But the problem then comes: what happens if you need a doctor urgently in where you are? Then you would see the doctor's surgery or clinic that you are closest to. Do you know what I mean? So I get what you were saying, Kimberly, but it isn't always. It's never. It's not always an option. We're lucky. We live in a big city, so there's, the building our doctors is in has a different doctor's surgery on the ground floor, one on the next floor up, and one above that. So there are, I believe, 3 different GP practices in that one building. So, and as I say, in our GPs there's loads of them. It never used to be. It used to be that when we first went to that GP, so 10 years ago when we moved here, we had one doctor and she was amazing. She was so lovely. Every time you needed an appointment, we saw the same doctor, and she was so amazing. And then she retired and we were like, no, don't retire, please. And since then we've just seen whoever. Is literally like a rotating what's the word? The door. Rotating door. Rotating thingy? Is it? Are we back? Now we're back. Good. Yay. Hello. I've got it. I literally was just saying this was Lisa's brain. My brain said rotating door, and it was actually revolving door that I was looking for was the word, but my brain went through, nope, rotating isn't the word. Try spinning. Try rotating. Nope, another word. Anyway, I'm going to go. Dormouse and Audrey are not in the same area. They're in the same country, which is Scotland, but they're in two very different parts of Scotland. I believe that Dormouse is a little more urban than Audrey, I believe. Or am I wrong in that, Dormouse? Hang on. I understand. Oh, no. Where's it gone? I understand exactly what you mean, Audrey. In borders, there are areas that one idea of... What? Oh, yes. I think Dormouse is in the borders and Audrey is in the Highlands. So Audrey is right up north and Dormouse is in the bit in like closest to England bit borders. So the bit that I guess it's state lines would be the equivalent in the US, where England and Scotland are two different countries in the same doodah, and they've got a different, even though England and Scotland are different countries, both part of Great Britain, which has an overall government of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which are then part of the, what's the other thing? Look at me. Shut up, Lisa. You're trying to do geography. Anyway, it's a bit like different states, if that makes sense. So yeah, NHS Scotland and NHS England, one side of the street would be Scotland, one side of the street is England. Nightmare sorting out, especially out of our GP care. Absolutely, I can imagine. Lisa Temlet says, thank you, everyone. It was a few years ago. Unfortunately, she passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that. And your brother-in-law didn't put in a complaint. I'm so sorry to hear that, my darling. One of your posts was sorting out of hours care GP Scotland-wide. Oh, my gosh. My gosh. That is awful. Dormouse is northeast rural. Oh, I'm very confused then. I'm not sure where anybody is. Can y'all please do me a favour, right? If I start talking geography ever again, just go, Lisa, no jog-raphy. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You as a southerner, you barely know where Yorkshire is on a map. I do know where Yorkshire is on a map. You certainly don't know anything about Scotland. So shut up. Yeah, just tell me that. Anyway, I am going to go now because it's nearly 5 o'clock and I've got an hour before I need to be live for the members. I'm going to be doing tarot reading at 6 o'clock on the other channel and then 7 o'clock for everybody else on the main live stream. I need to go and do the dog's dinner, although I did hear the air fry go earlier, so that means the dog's dinner has finished cooking. They are having pork fillet tonight with steamed carrots and probably a sweet potato or two, because that's just what they are. Do I know where Alabama is? No. Kimberly, we need to talk, my darling. So the United States is about ... times larger than the whole of the UK. I don't know geography in England, which is the largest part, but still probably only 2/3 the size of the UK. If I don't know geography in my own little part of this United Kingdom of ours over here, what makes you think that I would have any idea about it in the US? We've already established that I thought that Washington State and Washington, the place where the White House is, were the same. So yeah, Dormouse says, you would class Audrey as just up the road, but reckon it's over 100 miles away. Oh my gosh. That's what you're having. Pork fillet. It's in the oven now and smells lovely. Yes, it does. That's what, as I say, we've got some in fact, you'll see it in the haul video that's going up tomorrow. We've got that in the air fryer. And I'm probably going to have that with my veggies. It all depends on... It all depends. To be honest, it all depends on how much there is once it's all cooked down. Because the last time I did one, the pork fillet disappeared to virtually nothing. I think I overcooked it. And so, yeah, it depends how much is there because the doggos come first. So, you know, yeah. But yeah, it's cooked. It's I do know the lovely... My brain is so distracted. I do know the lovely smell of it right now. I can smell the pork that's been cooked. It does smell delicious. So yeah, Dormouse, it's 6 hours and 160 miles one way to Glasgow from 6 hours, 160 miles. Good God. How are you calculating 6 hours? Again, also, like, my God. My brain is wanting to ask all sorts of questions, Audrey, as to where you are, but I know that will end up doxing you, so I'm not going to ask any questions. But, oh my God, you must literally live at the tippy top of Scotland, almost. Dormouse is 232 miles from Glasgow. Where the hell do you lot live? See, again, geography brain. Kind of know if this is the UK and this bit here is the Scotlandy bit, right? So that bit there, I think Glasgow's about there. So I'm imagining then that Audrey and Dormouse, Audrey's sort of there and Dormouse is there. Glasgow borders. So that bit. Shy Violet's in the Midlands. You're in the country as well. Oh my gosh. No decent roads. Oh my God, you are in the tippy top bit. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Yeah, exactly. It does sound like that, Ed. Middle of but nowhere. Yes. Yes, it really does sound like that. It does. It sounds absolutely bonkers. I am going to go now because you can tell I should probably not have streamed today because I have not made a lot of sense. I do apologise, everyone. My brain, when I'm tired, just does not do much at all. You need to go on a road trip around Scotland. The thing is, Kimberly, you live somewhere where, like, the next town over is probably several hundred miles away. So when we're like, oh my God, 232 miles from Glasgow, you're like, just nip. That's where the local deli is. If I want some nice pastrami, that's what I do. And I go there and it's 232 miles and you just nip down there and go and get some. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing. The States, in comparison, is so ridiculously big. So ridiculously big compared to our little country, and I don't know where anything is in our little country. Should you be doing tarot if your energy is low? No, we shouldn't. That is what coffee was invented for, Leanne. That is literally what coffee was invented for. Driving in the States is so different from rural Scotland. I wouldn't know. I haven't done either. One last... Talk about late. Thank you very much, Father Ted. That was Father Jack, wasn't it? Anyway, I am going to go now. Apologies for this rather random, sprawling, ranting live stream. You've driven in rural Wales. Is it similar? Wales is very small. Rural Wales, I mean, gosh, Wales is all hills, isn't it? I know Scotland's very hilly as well, mountainous. My other channel is just Beyond Authentic. So no health on the end, just Beyond Authentic. And there is also Beyond Authentic Bricks coming soon. Just up here, look, Beyond Authentic. So just take the health off, you'll find it. It's dead simple. Yeah, I'll be doing a members at 6 and then going live to everybody at 7 over there. Probably going to be finishing about 8:30 tonight. But yes. Loads of love to you all, says the Rivets, and to Rufus and the Doggos. Absolutely. How'd you get a reading? Kimberly down south, come over to Beyond Authentic over there from 7 p.m. UK time. And it will all be explained over there, my darling. Thanks for the company. No worries, Doghouse. I literally nearly said Doghouse. I need more coffee. Similar but more vast, Kimberly, says Dormouse. So yes, it's very much like driving, but far more fast. You're more than welcome to, Kimberly. More than welcome to. It's an open stream for everybody. So yeah, do come over and say hello. I'm going to go now, everyone. I will see you soon. Rufus, all being well. Again, everything at the moment is all up in the air. So all being well, Rufus will be here on Wednesday. The plan is that he'll be back Monday evening, and then we'll be weighing in as normal on Tuesday and going live on Wednesday as per the usual. However, everything is subject to change at the moment because of family, so we shall see. But all being well, I'll see you on Wednesday live on here at 6:30 UK time on the Losers Club. And all being well, the chair that is currently sat here next to me empty will have a lovely Rufus in it. And yeah, hopefully you'll see both of us on Wednesday. But as we always say now, be happy, everyone. Be healthy. Always be authentic. And as we now always say, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday. See you soon.